point, right? Because like I said, I've never really dated anybody with kids, but like I've thought about this, right? One is fine. Like I could deal with one kid. Two, it's iffy, but I think we could swing it, right? Because I just feel like if I wanted to have one kid, we'd have three as a unit. We could probably swing three kids. You know, it's a zone defense, but we can make it work. But if you already got three.
You already got
then I'm like, well,
God damn.
But then they're like, but what if I want a baby? And then he's like, 3 is all I want. Like, understandable, because 3 is all I want too, and they're already here.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, God, you know, and not to, you know, sorry if I offended you. For any of you that have like a basketball team at home or whatever, that's cool. Like, if you found somebody to push out that many children, you know what? That is God bless her, and that's good. I'm glad. It's just I know I cannot.
Let me ask y'all a question on the same kind of topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Kysii, let me ask you this: Are you married or anything like that, or?
Yeah, I'm married. Yes. Shout out to Angela.
You are married. Okay.
Yes.
So this maybe doesn't apply to you then, but I guess my question is if. Like, yeah, what number is too much, I guess? Like, because for me, it's definitely 3. 2 is stretching it, but, yeah, like, one cool, 2 is stretching it, 3 is too much. Like, what would your opinion be if you weren't married, I guess?
Well, I'm married and I have 3 kids. That's it. Exactly. That's why I'm stopping.
Right.
But
so God forbid you and your wife got a divorce and you already had your 3 kids. Like, would you be willing to go into like a new relationship and that person had kids too?
Okay, that's what happened with mine. Mine's all been combination families because I got married later in life. I've been married about, make sure I get the number right. Okay, 6 years in July. Had to make sure that's right. All right, so I have my one daughter.
Get that number right.
I had my one daughter. And then my wife had 2 sons. So we combined and had 3 kids. That's how ours worked. But, yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying, it's like we don't do the whole stepkids, I just, they my kids. That's the way I treat them the same way. Equally and same with her. That's just the way our relationship and the way that we gel and the way our organization runs here. But, yeah, if I had to do it, you know what I'm saying, like if we didn't have any kids, I think 3 would be the number. I mean, it just is a nice, warm and fuzzy number to me. On my end, that's what I'm talking about. I see Mocha getting into your ass in the chat here, Shane. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely is. But so Meek, my question to you is, man, because I know how I feel about this. If you're gonna date somebody with kids, would you rather the kids? Well, in your situation, would you rather the kid's mom be in their life or not? I feel torn about that, and I'll explain why. Because if I'm dating a girl and the baby daddy is involved in the kid's life,
right?
Of course, that's a good thing because their dad's around.
Right.
But there's always going to be like that competition between us.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like, 'cause it's like, okay, I'm never going to be daddy. I'm stepdaddy. You're daddy. But I'm the one that's here every day. I'm the one doing X, Y, Z every day. You get to see them on weekends. And, like, would you, you know what I mean? So there's that side of it, too, where there's that competition. And it's almost like I'd rather you not be around so that way you don't mess with our bond. You know what I mean? It's selfish, but it's like I have a bond with these kids now, so I don't want you messing it up because you know what I mean? You ain't been around, and now you just not want to show up. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, so how do you feel about that? Like, would you rather the kid's parent be involved or not?
I can speak on it because, like I said, because my wife is the stepmother of my daughter, and then she has her mother, so I get her every other weekend or whatever. But we make it work smoothly. And I don't think everybody has this situation. There's no baby mama drama. There's never been no drama. It's always been worked out. You know what I'm saying? If something's needed, then my wife will call my daughter's mother, and they'll work it out together. You know what I mean, or whatever. So it's a smooth You know what I'm saying? And it's not ideal that everybody works that way, but I guess we consider ourselves adults and in the best interest of the kids. That's how we roll. There's never never been no money, no drama about money and none of that, because I always drop it in like clockwork when it's supposed to be there every other week. You know what I'm saying? I drop it into the account, right. Boom. And there's never been no question about the money, never been no question about this. She needs that. It's never been none of that. It's just always been smooth. The transition been smooth. And like I said, everybody doesn't always have that. Sometimes they always got a messy baby mama or whatever. That she tripping on what you got over here in your house, and your kids got this. How come my daughter ain't got this? You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. It's never been none of that. So I don't have that type of situation.
We don't have none of that.
Well, that's fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not at all.
Really good. But I think it's also one of those things that comes with maturity, right? You know, people have these kids really, really young, and then they aren't cooperative with each other, and they don't know how to co-parent. And I think that's something that comes with maturity. You have a lot of people that, you know, are not fully formed grown-ups themselves, and then they have kids, and, you know, all hell breaks loose. It's just a giant cluster of F.
Right.
I agree 100%. And I think a lot of times also that's why, like, the education is not as good with younger kids. Like, it seems like there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think that's a big one. It's because so many people have kids so young, and it's like they can't devote all their time to being a full-time parent, because you're 22 years old and you got to work and you got to try to maybe go to school still, and you got to try to, you know what I mean, like do all these different things. You still want to have a social life. You still want to date or do whatever you're doing. So it's like, you know, I get that you still got to have your own life, but your life changes so much when you do have kids to where most of that stuff you have to put on hold. And I think when people are really young and they have kids, they don't necessarily realize the actual sacrifice that takes raising them. And so a lot of times the kids ends up suffering. So, you know, you're not reading to your kids every night like you should. You're not, you know, helping them with their homework and different stuff like that. You're tired trying to do your own thing, you know, and hurry up and just get some food on the plate and get everybody to bed and do the next thing the next day. So it's like the young parenting, I think, is a big reason why the kids today are a lot more behind. And when I mean kids, I mean like elementary, you know, middle school kids, stuff like that. Like pretty much by high school, you're kind of figuring shit out. But before that, a lot of it is on the parents. And I feel like, you know, when you're a really young parent, there's just only so much life experience you have that you can even offer the kids. So
that's true. That is
very
true. Now we actually spoke about the side chicks and side families and how social media has messed up everything, and a lot of it's been on Facebook. And I spoke, and I told you I was going to do this, VJ. And I spoke about social media, and we spoke about Facebook. So I told you I was going to talk to you and ask you why you don't have a Facebook account. You got off Facebook, and I just want to hear your reasoning and why you have distance and have made that relationship go cold between you and Facebook.
Well, here's the thing about Facebook, and so I will just say this, and I'm sorry if you're an avid Facebook user. Like, I get it. No shade, no tea about it. Like, my sunglasses are put away. Like, we all sunny over here. I don't want y'all to feel any kind of way. Look,
no, the
I
thumb
had
thug is
Facebook
coming.
when Facebook first launched. Lord, probably, but it's cool. I could take a little heat. It's fine. But when I had Facebook originally, I had Facebook when you had to have like a college email address to get on Facebook. So it was like this little like niche thing where, you know, it was just you connecting with people from other schools. It was very like silly, fun. It wasn't like a bunch of drama. Like you said, like, and then it just, when they opened it up to everybody, like, I get it, because it's great for, and here's the thing, it is great for people that have relatives that live other places and being able to connect with people that they haven't been able to find, or if, you know, being able to post pictures of grandkids when you live halfway around the world or across the country from your parents and that type of thing. So for some people, it's fantastic. But for me, my family all, for the most part, lives here. And then the family that doesn't live here, like, we just pick up the phone, or I just, like, send them some pictures via text. Like, we're good. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
And I don't have any real desire to get on Facebook. And if you're like, oh, well, you can block the comments or defriend those people or whatever. But the thing about it is that if you're on a social network to be social, like, you can shut it down to a certain extent, but things still filter through. Facebook is not a perfect science. Their algorithms are not perfect. So sometimes you just get tired of seeing other people's drama or the same type of stupid shit on your Facebook feed all the time.
So
and I get it, you get it from like all types of places, but dear God, it just seems like Facebook is like a cesspool of like the stupidest shit.
Do you feel it's different from Twitter and Instagram? I know you have an Instagram account, you have a Twitter account, but you feel like...
Here's the thing, like with Twitter, like you only have 140 characters. So unless I just like go reading your thread or whatever, like I could pretty much like mute certain words. Like if I don't feel like hearing a conversation where y'all talk about $200 dates, I can mute those words and I don't see it. I don't care. But it seems like whatever happens on Twitter gets to Facebook like 2 weeks later, so then I would have to be on Facebook to relive that. with no way of muting it. Like I would just have to see that fully bloom. And like there are racists on Twitter, but for the most part, if you're not following them and they're not following you, they just get to, spew racist hate speech at whoever's following them. Right. On Facebook, people just kind of just come into wherever with their ridiculousness.
They can show up anywhere. They ain't in your friend.
The only thing I use Facebook for is to promote the podcast, to be honest. Like I don't log on for any other reason. Like I'm in a couple of podcast groups. I post my links in there when we drop new episodes. I post it on my status. I share it with Corey. He posts it on his wall, and I post it on our page. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's all I do on Facebook. I don't see nothing else. So whenever anybody asks me, "Oh, did you see on Facebook?" Nope. That's always my answer.
No,
because I didn't.
I have no clue.
You know what I mean? Because I really didn't. Like I have a Facebook, but I don't use it for nothing. Like if you want to get at me, Twitter and Instagram is definitely, you know what I mean, what I actually use. Because it's like VJ was saying, it's very limited. Like, you can't write a whole biography in a status, you know what I mean? You can't do all of that. Like, you can post pictures, you can post 1-minute videos, and that's it. Like, okay, good. You know what I mean? Like, so it's way better because it's just more simple. I like that better. You know, Facebook, I agree. I liked it way better when you had to have a college email. Because like she said, it made it more exclusive because it was like, everybody you're talking to is in the same age group as you. You know you're probably going to be into the same things. If there's a party at the school, at another school in your state or whatever, you can find out, the information about it and go. Like, it was so sweet, like, how it worked before. And it was like, and it was a slow process because it was like they had Facebook and the Facebook at first. And I think the Facebook anybody could use. But just regular Facebook was the college one. And then they eventually combined it and they tried to make it like MySpace. And then that's when everything went downhill. And then they started changing it every year and every other month. And there was all these crazy changes on the website. Like, yo, we didn't ask for all this. Like, just let me talk to my people and that's it.
And I think that's part of the reason too. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like a weird like college snob about it. Like, oh, you're getting out of college, you shouldn't be able to have Facebook. Because that's not what I'm saying. Like, I think it was one of those things where it was very bare bones and very simplistic at first, very much like Twitter is now. And it got to the point to where it wasn't simple anymore, right? There was all these plugins and all these things and all these messengers and do this and play this game. And do y'all remember when is Farmville still a thing? Are people still sending Farmville requests?
Yeah. I remember that. I haven't seen Farmville requesting forever.
Those were dark days. Like, that's all I'm saying. It just got to where it was just oversaturation. Like, I could probably deal with just the statuses and the pictures and whatever else, but it's all the other things that is like going on. Like, it's just sensory overload. Like, Facebook is just a lot to deal with now at this point. Like, there's a lot to do and a lot of buttons to press, and I don't know. I just feel like an old person with like a smart remote or something. Like, it's so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. We got a couple people here with the same feelings like you in the chat. I know Thorny Switch doesn't have a Facebook. Man, Rough Buff don't have a Facebook. So they probably share that same sentiment. I think everybody else in here is like, what? But, you know, it is what it is. Like you said, it's to each his own. I got a question for y'all.
It also depends on when you...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it depends on when you join Facebook, too. Because if you join Facebook when it looks like it does now, then you don't really have a frame of reference for what it used to look like. So...
True. That's all you know.